Okay, so we were at Finland. We make less money.
Yeah.
Or I make less money, and I
What
pay
did you
more.
do in Finland?
Mainly, I worked in a supermarket
Okay.
as a store clerk, but I've done bartending and waiting tables. And also, my last job was actually being a kindergarten caretaker.
Okay.
So very random, but they were in need,
So
and I
you're
thought
doing
that
the
would be.
bartender and
Taking care of children. No. This was like years apart. This was like the bartending was way before, and then after some time, and I was like, maturing and getting like, closer back home and closer to nature and natural, living. And I was like, I need to have some more love around me, and kids would be great for that. So I thought, it would be great to work with kids, get good pay, but like not the stress of like hospitality, because hospitality is like taking care of adults.
yeah.
And when you take care of adults that complain, it feels like they're just being big babies, and you're like, can't you just like be nicer because you're an adult? So I thought, if someone's gonna complain and cry and be annoying, it should be a cute kid.
Okay.
Adult, So that's why I decided to go into that. So yeah, the money that I was making was maybe 10%, 15% less than what I'm making now.
Okay.
But
Now we're working in a meat factory.
yeah,
Okay.
the hours being the same, which is 38 or whatever, 37 and a half. But the amount of taxes, well, I was paying less taxes.
Here.
No, there.
Okay.
The minimum you have to pay in Finland is 8.5. You cannot run away from that. That's just mandatory. So
8.5%.
yeah. So you have the super, which is superannuation here,
Yeah.
where your employer pays you the money that goes into your super account here in Australia.
For Indonesian, we don't have that.
Mm.
So if you guys watch it and don't know what is super, what is that?
Right. You probably have privates, right? Private pensions,
Yeah.
most likely, right?
But
Do you have names? Maybe name them. And
in
people
Indonesia,
will-
I don't think we have it.
Really?
Yeah. We don't
Nothing?
have it. Nothing.
You don't have like a fund you can pay and be like, okay, every time you pay a percentage and you're gonna get this much back.
It's
after
like
whatever time period.
investment.
Yeah. it
Yeah,
is, right?
but it's not your employer pay that.
No, not
But
your employer, but you can maybe go to a company and say, hey, I see this, I like this, I want to be a part of it. Right?
I don't think it's like a pension, but it's like you go to a fund manager and you pay them some money, put your money there, and they will make, I don't know, you can even lose some money, you can earn some money. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't think it's the same with super.
Okay, so not related to pension, just
No.
other sort of
investment, yeah.
types. Okay, I'll just take a little break for cleaning my nose.
I will make this as a cover.
No, you won't. Fuck off. Okay, back on. Sorry, I'm a bit too cold, It's
Okay.
Australia. How can you be so cold? You're from Finland. Okay.
Yeah, how can you be so cold in Finland? Look at me, I'm from Indonesia. Look at him.
You should explain in the comments what's happening. Why does a Finnish person wear this many types of layers of clothes? And the Indonesian he has shorts on, by the way. You don't see it, but he has small shorts. Barely shorts. Very Australian of you. Anyway, so
When you speak like this.
I'm sorry. Am I too high?
No, you're not too high.
No, it's just my back. I have a long
Scoliosis?
spine. No, I have a long spine. So if I sit bad for a long period, it sort of hurts. So I have to switch back to having a straight back. You're getting inspired, huh? And this is also very like, hey,
You're being racist. You're being
such a racist, man.
Okay.
Okay. No, it's getting warmer actually. Let me just brighten up. Should I take this off?
Up to you.
Part 2. Okay. It's gonna be very different. Part 2. This
No.
is very bright. This It's very bright.
Very orange.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay.
What are
Sorry.
we talking about before?
Pay.
Pay, yeah,
Pensions.
pension.
Okay. So in Finland, because it's very regulated, very
In Finland
protective.
or in Australia, very regulated and
This is what I thought before, that Finland is very regulated and
Okay.
protective. But Australia is also very, very much, in certain senses, oh, my glasses, in certain ways, much more. Like the fact that well, probably in Finland you have to wear a helmet, but I've never been stopped by a cop. So, but in
for
Australia,
riding a bike. Okay.
I was in Adelaide, a cop stopped me the first day, the next day I bought the bike, riding through the CBD, and he's like, mate, where's your helmet? I'm like, am I supposed to really have one? And he's like, yeah, what's your name? He's taking my name and everything. I'm like, whoa, am I getting like targeted or whatever? Like, this is ridiculous. And then I come to Border Town, small town with 3,000 people, and I'm thinking there's not gonna be even a cop car. There's cops every day when I'm riding a bike, and then one day one of them stops me. Hey mate, how's it going? Where's your helmet? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to? I haven't gotten, you know. And he's like, well, because I was really nice to him. I was like, hey, how you doing? And smiling. He was like, oh, it's fine, you know, but just know that, you know, if someone else caught you, they might like give you a fine. And I was like, oh my God, I really need a helmet. So in that sense, I thought, you know, Australia can be really, and also I went out the other time in Melbourne, and they asked me for my ID. I was like, bro, I'm like almost 30. Like I look pretty old. Like because back home, if you look under 30, they have to ask. But it's only about the looks because we have a lot of people that look very young and stuff like that. So I thought it's like something similar here. It's like you look young, we're gonna have to ask you. Yeah. But if you look older and your demeanor is like very
I think here they ask for everyone.
They ask for everyone. The guy told me, the guy at the door, he's like, even if you're 100 years old, we need to see your ID because we need to know who's inside and what happens if something happens. And who are you? So it's all about like, there's a lot of like this type of control here, which I'm not a big fan of. But you know, after that, I'm like, well, Finland isn't that bad actually because we don't have stuff like that. We only ask for, you know, ID because you look young, but you don't need an ID to go places. Like I
think here, just go to the pub, go to the bar. You just.
I mean, I took my passport when I first went to Melbourne because I was crossing borders. So I thought maybe there's something with the border lines or something. But no, I don't think so. Or like also hostels. There was a hostel in Adelaide that asked for passports. Otherwise, they wouldn't let you stay in. For some reason. So for that, it's kind of it's kind
of. In Finland,
different.
they don't ask for ID if you stay in.
I don't know. In a hostel, no, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't remember. because I'm a citizen there. And usually you don't have to really carry anything. The most thing you have to like the thing you have to usually do when you go to like a government place, they just ask you for your social security number. And it's basically your birthday with some numbers at the end. That's it. So you just do that, and they can find you you do need some identification somewhere, but that's only a special occasion when you go to government you know, errands. But when you go out, when you go experience stuff, when you go traveling in the country, you don't need it anymore. Why would you?
In Indonesia, for hotel, for hostel, for that, you need for identification. Right. But for the club, for the bar, you don't need. You don't.
I think maybe for us it's because our payment system is different. If you pay with the card, then they can get all your information from the bank account for the bank card.
Here,
in the west, I guess in Europe. And
I think here is also.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. That's what I think it is. Yeah. Because maybe if you paid with cash, they would have to be like, well, we need identification.
I don't know. So what did you do in Thailand before you come here to Australia?
Just enjoying food basically and the weather. I just because that was my second time in Thailand and I really missed it and I just wanted to like
go back to Thailand.
Yeah, just be in the sun and just enjoy the nightlife and the scooter rides. And the
A lot of
evening
people
outs.
say the nightlife there is very good.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go for the clubs and stuff like that. Like, I think a lot of it is very too much for me.
Okay. Because you're old.
Wow. Yeah, because I'm old. No. Yeah,
That is too much for me.
bro, you're gonna be there soon, so you know, just be ready for it. I think it's
How long is your first plan to go there?
really it was like 2 to 4 weeks or 3 weeks.
And then you're going back to Finland.
No. I thought I would go to like Bali a few weeks as well, and maybe.
Don't you need a visa if you want to go? Oh, you have a.
You get a visa on arrival. I
Oh,
think,
yeah,
in
yeah.
Indonesia, yeah. So
But in Thailand, you must apply first there or.
no, in Thailand it's also the same. You arrive and they
arrival.
just
Okay.
yeah, and now they've extended. It used to be 30 days, now it's 45 days.
Okay.
So, yeah, but yeah, let's go back to maybe
Thailand.
the money.
Okay.
Right? So, so in Finland, I would make 10-15% less,
Okay.
and also the pension thing and everything. So we pay 8.5%. That's minimum.
Okay.
That's when it says 0. So basically, because they think that maybe because they think it's 0 because it's mandatory for a pension, because they want you to have a net to fall back on.
Yeah.
So basically in Finland, because I would usually not work a full year, if I worked a full year, I would have to pay way more taxes because I'm making more money.
Yeah.
But if I make the same amount of money by month, but I only work 9 months, then the year's amount would be much smaller.
Yeah.
So because it's much smaller, my percentage that I have to pay is now
Tax.
very low, yes. So I was paying between 0 and 5%, plus the 8.5%, of course.
Oh, okay.
So in Finland, I can do this because I'm free to travel and I don't have a family, I don't have kids or anything like that. So I can just go.
So you planning? You like working for 9 months there and traveling for 3 months
Yeah,
because you don't want to pay more taxes.
Also get away from the winter and just come back when it gets warmer. Yeah. So I'm here for the experiences. I'm here to grow my knowledge and experience and humble myself, because when you get out of your comfort zone, this is what it is all about. If you've never traveled, like if the people who are watching, if you've never traveled outside of your country, outside of your currency, your laws, your norms, your culture, your social interactions and norms, you don't really know how big the reality can be.
Yeah.
Once you go to another country and you see how people live and how they think and what's normal there and how they look at you like you're the weird one because they don't know, maybe because they've never traveled.
Yeah.
So then you get all these perspectives,
Yeah.
because you cannot really get a perspective by your own. You need something to measure it with against, So for me it was that, to have the opportunity to go to another country where I know the language, so it's easier, and also the money is good, and the weather is much nicer.
Here?
Yeah.
Because
like I
you told me before.
It's basically middle of winter right now, and it's like a bad summer for me back home.
Middle of winter in Australia.
Yeah.
Feels like bad summer in
Finland.
in Finland. Oh my god, it's very cold. Imagine how cold is it in bad winter.
Yeah, you can get your nose hairs freeze, so that's not good. And you're afraid that if you were stuck anywhere, you would be dead.
What?
Yeah, like in the middle of the winter, you cannot just go out in the woods by your own, or not plan. You have to know where you're going. Like you can't.
Because if you go outside too long, you're gonna be suddenly dead.
Like if you get lost, or you're I don't know, something happens to your foot and you get spray your ankle or something and you need help. I mean, we have good coverage, so if you have a phone, but like if some bad things happen and you can't find anyone,
Okay.
you're pretty much dead, like because it's freezing and you can only walk so far before you freeze to death and stuff. So It's you know.
Okay, so
it keeps people really rigid in real. Like people are very aware of reality being tough. Like that's how we are more tough there and not. Because people want to always go to Italy and Spain and they're like, oh, they're so like carefree. They're just enjoying their culture and life. Yeah, because because they're you can do this when you're in a warm weather. You can just be like, oh, it's all good. But when you're in real like rough weather, you're like, no, we have to like make sure we have wood. We make sure we have insulation. We make sure we have electricity, and then we can maybe have fun. Yeah. So
maybe I want to tell them about the story that you told me about the Finland being happiest country. Yeah, because as we know, Finland is being happiest country for 3 years.
I think 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, and because he's Finnish.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call.
Yeah, Finnish
Finland,
people.
Finnish, right?
Finns. Finnish people. Yeah. Okay, so the question is. Is it really, or what's the question? What's said? It is stated that way.
Finnish people. Finland is the happiest country in the world for six time in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the reality there?
The thing is, between the insiders, the Finns themselves, when we chat about it, when we discuss it, and when we read this, the reaction is really like, what?
Really?
How? Really? Like, exactly. That's what it is. Like even here in Australia, when they stated the 6th year in a row that Finland is. I read it in. I was a part of this like Australian Finns or Finns in Australia group, and people there. Someone shared it, and every comment was like, "How do they come up with this thing? This is really funny. They should really go there. Like, who wrote this?" Because even Vice did a nice video on it actually some 5 years ago maybe. They went to Finland in the middle of winter, like when it's like blowing cold, like blizzard like type of snow where you have to wear like puff jackets and everything, and you can only see someone's face. And the thing was like, they don't measure. The thing is, how do you measure happiness? Do you go around asking 1,000 Finns, how do you see your life? Maybe they put on a application or a form where they had a bunch of questions, but well, in that piece from Vice, they got to a conclusion that Finland is the most content country in the world, but not the happiest.
Okay.
Because even the Finns, everybody that I know has been shocked, like surprised, like how is this even real? So, but when you look at the countries that are on the list, it's always Finland, Switzerland, Denmark, maybe Sweden.
Yeah.
So all these like places where it's heavily, I guess, regulated and more of a homogenous group, less immigration. So you have to take into account like. I've met some Americans who are like, "Oh my God, you're from Finland, the happiest place, or the best education." Other people.
I said the first time I met you, right?
Yeah, I think
like,
so. Yeah.
Oh, you're from Finland.
Yeah. How's your education? Like, the system is developed.
Yeah.
It is good, but also you cannot. Everybody comes from their own perspective. So you think, oh, we could have this if we just paid more taxes, but you don't have 5 million people in a large country that's mostly Finns, like by ethnicity. Like obviously I'm not originally a Finn.
Yeah.
I've only lived there all my life, but so it depends on who you ask and what is contentment and what is happiness and what is the level of knowledge you can have about how happy you can be.
Yeah.
Because to me, if you ask me personally, okay, I've never lived in the US, but I've visited at least once, and I've met a lot of Americans, and I've met other people from other places in Europe, and I would say I've met way more happier people from less regulated, more poorer places of the world than the richest places.
So why they nominated Finland as the happiest country?
Because the way they measure the happiness is correlated with the level of material goods.
Okay.
So in Finland, yes, we are the happiest if we have electricity every day that doesn't cut. We have great internet connection all throughout the land basically. There's always 4G and 5G now. We have education for all. We have homeless health, or we have like help for the homeless.
Even
So-
everyone has the cottage house.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's probably the secret of what makes a Finnish person happy. Like I think without the cottage lifestyle, we would not function as a society, honestly, because we are very corporatized since the 2000s, since we went to the Eurozone. Now there's no more Finnish mom and pop shops. Like all the shops that are like restaurants and stuff, they're all owned by immigrants. We have kebab shops and Asian stores, African stores, and Middle Eastern barber shops, African food stores, Asian food stores, and Asian restaurants. But no Finnish. It's all corporations, big business, chains. So it's all big business. I can't remember the point about that, but you just said something about the business and stuff.
No.
No, okay.
Okay. You said it is a secret of the Finnish people. They keep happy.
Right, the cottage.
Yeah, the cottage. But I don't think every country they can do that.
No, because you don't have the space that we have.
Australia have the space.
Okay, Australia has the space, yes.
They don't have the cottage.
But I think the weather is so nice that people have houses here though. Whereas in Finland, rarely you can see people having houses. Those are the more upper middle class. The middle class are living in apartment buildings. Whereas here, you don't see much apartment buildings. They seem to be only the lower middle class, I guess. But the middle class here seems to have a house with a front yard, with a gated
that's
house.
why they don't need a cottage.
You don't need a cottage, yeah. That's your cottage house, right? That's the same. Yeah, you can have even a fireplace, barbecue, whatever. But in Finland, if you're living in an apartment, now you cannot even smoke in the balcony. You cannot even have a barbecue in the balcony. So everything is very dick. So it's like you can only be inside and cook normally. So you
sleep and cook.
Yeah. So when you want to go out to nature and have wild, bonfires and music and drink or go swimming naked or whatever. By the way, that's one of the things people like to get really naked in Finland. Yeah, like if you go to any supermarket,
You can find people naked there. Well,
no, not quite. If you go to a swim hall or a gym or any type of sporting place, when you get to the locker space, people just get fully naked. Everything is out, and it's very normal. It's very normal for them. They go into saunas together, very naked. But yeah, once they're out in the outside, they're like,
Okay, I think about your point of talking about the business.
Yeah.
The immigrant from the chain business is back to the Finland.
Wait, what?
No, that's not the point. I want to share to them.
Yeah.
About you say about the Finland is not happy because they didn't see the reality of this. A lot of people even not happier than them, not as happy as them.
Oh, what we talked about before, maybe.
Yeah.
Appreciate what they have.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't really appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that sense, actually, Finland could be the happiest country in the world if they realized how good they have it.
Yeah.
And they came together as a community, as people. Then we could really make it a really happy place. But I think that's the main issue, is like people
don't really know.
It's been corporatized, and it's been like separated from the family and the traditional like religious background. Like this gets into like deeper topics, but I think in Finland, people are getting way too less kids nowadays.
Okay.
They're a dying country, so they're making less babies than people are dying, and immigrants are making way more babies on average. So obviously that's not a good look or a good
thing
for the
Finnish.
traditional
Yeah.
Finns. And religion has been